Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today we're going to Sol Naciente. This is one of the only, from what I know, the only place that sells garden supplies and actual plants in the mall here in Costa Rica. So we can see just a couple different flower bulbs. They normally sell these as just the bulbs themselves in tiny bags, but I think these were there for too long, so they just made them into little plants and just selling those now. They have quite a few things since it's spring, or it's going to start raining soon here, so they promote a bit more beach, going to pools, going to planting and stuff like that. So they had some very beautiful butterfly wind chimes, and honestly this part I don't like much because it's just fake plants. I mean, here in this channel we obviously love real plants and taking care of them, so this part is somewhere interesting for the dark corners of my house where I can't have any plants, but honestly I prefer a real plant more than anything. So we can just see a couple different things here, and I will start talking the video. However, I don't know if it's a bit too low since I don't have one of those little mics that you pin to your clothes yet. I'm getting one, so hopefully I can get you better quality audio when I'm filming the videos in person. We can see a couple different things that they had there. This is one of the things that I wanted to get. I think I'll show you in a second. Not that, but this part. It is pretty much just a misting irrigation system. I want to have those in the house, that way I can lead my plants and know that they're getting misted and the water they need. We can see a couple different things here. They have nutrient-rich soil. They have some very fine charcoal. This is what I normally use for plants, which is coconut coir. A very, very fine piece of coconut. They have some. They have some rice husks. I don't really like to use these because they're messy. So that's not one of my preferred substrates. They have white stones. I do not recommend these for substrate because they aren't pretty good. They're more decorative, the same like these ones. Very noisy. So this one is just red stones. Pretty much all of these are just for decoration, not really intended for any long-term use in the substrate. They have orchid substrate, which is just a bunch of coconut pieces with charcoal. They have coconut fibers, which it's normally used for some type of mothball, like a type of substrate for it to grab onto. They have, I don't know the name of this one in English, but it's pretty much just a type of fertilizing compost, like organic. They have a couple different things. Like I said, there aren't many places here in Costa Rica close to where I live that they have good gardening stuff. Honestly, they have a lot more right now, but there's not a lot that they have here. So they have some magic root. This is just a rooting powder. I have used one in my videos before. I don't know how good it is, honestly, since I started to use it recently. They have some sealing paste, different types of fertilizers, and these again, they're just for decoration on top of the pots. So these are supposedly for bulb. Yeah, it's a bulb planter. In the initial part of the video, I was showing you a couple different bulbs that they're selling here. I don't remember the name off the top of my head, but they are pretty interesting. They are some pretty nice bulbs. These are supposed to be for plants. They're like somewhat fancy for plants, but I guess it works. Here we have a few pots, not much to speak of. So I'm just gonna show you a bit of what they have here in pots, and I'm gonna start talking again when I'm gonna show you a few of the plants that they have here. Be warned, it's not many plants, but it's interesting to see it. Actually, in this section, these are very interesting. I really want to buy a few of these ones, since this can be used to propagate a lot of little plants, and even in tissue culture, I've seen a lot of people use these. So what you do is just take one of these places here, and then place this here as a cover, and you can use these to control the level of humidity. So maybe I'm gonna buy one of these. I don't really have a way to buy tissue culture here in Costa Rica, but if I ever manage to get a few tissue culture plants, I might just get it. And this is something I want to for my office garden per se, because these can be automated, I think. I'm not very sure, but maybe I can buy a pump and make a type of automated system. So now back to being quiet so you can see more of this. Oh no, I think I'll be fine in there. So back to showing you a couple of the pots here. So all of these are just sold as seeds, per se. All of these grow as bulbs, so you just have to place these in dirt and just hope that they give you what's advertised in the images. I've never bought these. I don't trust it, so I don't know if it's actually what it shows in the images. So now to the first interesting plants. We have here Birkin. Yeah, they don't really say. Oh yeah, that's his name, Philodendron Birkin. So I have a couple of these at home that seem to be doing okay. They're not doing too bad, so these are some pretty good plants. Here they have a few begonias. Does it have a name? Yeah, Begonia Rex. That's all they're calling it. So I don't know specifically which variant this is, but there's some pretty interesting ones. A few plants. I don't know any of these. These are supposedly jade, and a few more. I think they're cacti, cactus. Some ficus moonshine, I think. I don't know the name. I think it's moonshine. So they have this little tent full of succulents. They're selling the tent as well. So pretty interesting. They have a couple different plants, a few cactus, and a few succulents. Honestly, I've seen better ones. I don't know how much ever, but in the Plant Fest video, you can see, and even in some of the shorts that I made, there are a lot of different cactus and succulents that have some beautiful variegations. So you can go check out that video. I'm not very much into cactus or succulents, but at one time I was, and they are pretty easy to take care of. Very beautiful patterns. I love the colors on this one, but I'm not that good in taking care of those ones. Here we have the painted lady. Pretty big plant. Let me see if I can get it in the video. Pretty big plant, some beautiful leaves. Nice painted, nice painted plant. They have a couple, well, they have only 2 of these, but has a new leaf. Very, very pretty. Now I'm going to show you, these are just a few Adansonia they have here. Nothing too grand, nothing too amazing to talk about, but pretty. They have some golden potos. I think this one is the Brazil. I'm not very sure. Yeah, they say it's a variegated potos. So if anyone knows a name, please let me know. I'm not really sure the name of these ones, but they're interesting. I have a few what's it called? A few potos Brazil at home, and they don't really look like that, so I'm not sure which one it is. A few of the Nimas. Interesting. These are honestly pretty sad. I don't know if they're just opening or if they're dead, I'm not sure. But yeah, I've seen better ones. I have a few more begonia. Pretty variegation in these ones, very dark. The stems, nice and hairy. The ZZ plants, nice. They don't look too big, so they're pretty interesting. There's one back here that caught my eye. Let me see if I can get it. So this one, I don't know if these speckles are from the plant intentionally or if they're just dry. So you can either judge that. I'm not sure the name of this one. In Costa Rica they call it mala madre, which simply translated is bad mother. I think it's for the fact that it just lets the babies run off into the sides and that's it. So that's the name it's given. A few different, I think they're called waffle plants. Yeah, so a few waffles, some ferns. Yeah, ferns. Some pretty interesting ones. Here we have Escindapsus, I think. These looks pretty nice. These are White Wizard. It's getting a new leaf over here. Pretty plants, nice variegation, very interesting. For hair, we have the Monstera Peru, which sadly I was looking for the variegated Monstera Peru. However, they are extremely expensive. I think the only place I've seen has it. It's around maybe $150. So sadly, I cannot get that anytime soon. But this non-variegated version is also pretty, very pretty, and it's $20. So pretty plants, very nice. They look like bigger waffles, and I don't know any about that one, but it's pretty. A few neon, and let's move on to the next one. Here we have the Florida Ghost. There was a very beautiful particular Florida Ghost here, which sadly I don't see anymore, but it was giving a crazy spontaneous variegation, where I think almost half of the leaf was pretty much a half moon, full green, or with speckles. I don't remember properly, but I wish I had gotten a picture. Very pretty, like half Florida Ghost and half a different mutation. Let me see here. This Florida Ghost a bit less mature. Some smaller plants, so very pretty. I can't wait for my Florida Beauty to start giving me these shapes in their leaves. So another Birkin, and there's another different Bacchia, I think. Looks like it had a flower more recently here. So a few more Peru, very long. We could propagate these very easily. Just cut off a few of these nodes and we would have a new plant very soon. This one, I don't remember the name. It is they just call it red philodendron. Pretty bronze color. I really like the bronze color in the leaves. Very shiny. And of course, a few monsteras. Just starting to get different illustrations. And I think that's pretty much it. Yeah, they have their sadly dying plants back here, so I don't think we can be back here. So yeah, this is pretty much the plant tour available here. Not too many plants, honestly. Very pretty, but I will make sure to get some better videos on other bigger nurseries around here, so stay tuned for those videos, and I will see you in the next video.